shutdown, and the vote failed for the 9th time. When will the shutdown end? Start guessing. No one knows. Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullin joins me. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
So what's your guess? When is the shutdown ending?
Well, you're right. It takes two events to take place normally. One event is a signal. The second one forces them. I think one event's going to happen tomorrow when the federal employees aren't paid. That's going to really look bad because the president's taking care of federal law enforcement, taking care of military, the federal workers who the Democrats say they're trying to protect. They are the ones that put the direct control of if they're essential or non-essential into the president's hands. Those paychecks don't go out tomorrow. That'll be the first paycheck they miss. A second event will take place this weekend when they had the No Kings rally that Chuck Schumer has literally been open about, that the optics of opening it up before that anti-Trump rally doesn't look good for them. So that could be the second event. So we could see it possibly. They become reasonable next week. I think more than likely it'll be after November 1st, though, when they see what the insurance companies do and they use that as a leverage point. The thing is that Republicans, we're not going to give an inch. We have nothing to negotiate. The clean CR, which means a continuing resolution on the way government is funded. Keep in mind, this was written last year when Chuck Schumer was the leader of the Senate and Joe Biden was in office. So what we're asking them to vote on is the exact thing he wrote. So I don't understand their position, why they got the government shut down, other than political optics.
Well, I'm not so sure it matters to him or to anyone on the Hill if the federal workers don't get paid, because that's really a sort of a small, I mean, it's serious. Believe me, and the ones that live paycheck and paycheck, it's very difficult. But I think when they start hurting people around the country more, and they start getting phone calls from their districts, that's going to make a bigger difference on whether or not, how people want to handle this. But, if you say till after November 1st, November 1st rolls around, and let's say that there is the shutdown ends November 1st, that clean CR is passed. According to that CR, it lasts until November 21st.
Right.
So you're talking about a 20-day CR in which all these bills and appropriations have to be passed.
Well, I sit on appropriations, and you have Susan Collins, who's doing a phenomenal job making sure that the appropriations move forward, and you have Leader Thune that's gave her the runway to do it. Under Chuck Schumer, they never brought up a single appropriation bill. We started today actually moving appropriation bills. Yesterday or last week we did the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. Tomorrow we're going to vote on MILCON, and we got 4 appropriation bills ready to move. Here's why that's important. If we can get those passed, some of them already been semi-conference with the House. Say we can get 4 appropriation bills done. Now the shutdown only affects the 8 that's not there. These 4 fund about 70% of the government. So now you're only talking about 30% of the government that would shut down. A lot of this, the air traffic controllers, is including in some of this. So what we're doing now is already making preparation for when the government reopens, that we're not forced into another situation that we got to shut it back down.
I think I'm an alarmist, and
I'm optimistic.
You're optimistic. I'm an alarmist, and I always think, what's the worst case scenario? And I read these stories about the airports, and I read the stories before the shutdown, but I'm really, but I seem to see more of them now. And it is terrifying because the air traffic controllers, some are calling in sick or calling out sick.
They've been directed by their labor union, by the way, to call in sick, which is frustrating to me.
Well, here's that, but the ones that are working are, because there was some that have called in sick, they're really stressed out.
Right.
They were stressed out to begin with, and so now they've got added stress of, all the time they're doing and the pressure. And, if something happens, as I say, I'm an alarmist. There's going to be blood on the hands of some people on the Hill.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things. One, the union should be held responsible, because the union, there isn't one air traffic controller that's working for free, and not one of them miss a paycheck until tomorrow. Every federal employee is going to get back paid.
But they've got so much pressure, and they may have wives and husbands and family members who work for the government.
Agreed.
The pressure is really, it's beyond just that one paycheck.
I agree with that, but the union should have never told them to start calling in sick 7 days ago. That adds pressure to tomorrow. Tomorrow is when the pressure will probably begin. And I think every one of those ones that didn't call in, we should be as federal employers and looking to take care of our employees. We should look to give those individuals bonuses, because even though the union told them to start calling in sick to put pressure on the federal government to reopen, those individuals chose to sit there and do their job, and those are the employees that you should reward. And I will be, I will be talking to Secretary Duffy directly about that, but I know he's already looking into it too.
Well, the people that work here, I know that across the country, they're thinking they get paid a lot, these government workers.
They don't.
They don't get paid a lot, but even more is that this is a very expensive place to live. So that, so what might seem like better pay in another part of the country is not as great here. Senator Mark Wayne Mullin, thank you, sir. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me
Thank
in.
you.